setting sail into mystery, the spike in vanishing sailors. On the open Atlantic, where the horizon stretches endlessly and every sunrise offers new promise, a growing shadow has caught the eyes of mariners and landlubbers alike. Lately, more solo sailors have disappeared, vanishing utterly, leaving neither debris nor distress call. It's a mystery that has those of us who cherish the sea on high alert. What's behind this unsettling trend? Tonight, we'll chart a course through chilling cases, expert theories, and technological puzzles, all with the aim of finding out why the Atlantic seems to have claimed more souls in recent years, without a trace. The numbers don't lie, a surge in unexplained disappearances. First, let's weigh anchor with the facts. Recent years have seen documented upticks in missing solo sailors, particularly in the North Atlantic shipping lanes and less traveled southern routes. Traditionally, the sea has always claimed a few, a ferocious squall here, a rogue wave there. But now, data from maritime rescue agencies reveals a worrying escalation. Search and rescue operations are being launched more often, but they're coming up empty-handed. The voyagers simply vanish off the face of the earth. It begs the question, just how many more are disappearing and why now? Case files, haunting tales from the blue. Names like Donald Crowhurst, Jerry Roofs, and more recent adventurers echo hauntingly across the waves, but they're only the tip of the iceberg. In 2022 alone, at least 6 notable solo sailors vanished in the Atlantic, their last automatic identification system signals drifting off into silence. Some departed with ambition and skill, their vessels well equipped for the journey. Days later, authorities found unmanned boats, sails shredded or unfurled in eerie calm, personal effects untouched below decks. Each case is a puzzle, with loose threads suggesting everything from accidental injury to foul play, equipment failure, and even rare medical emergencies. Yet the common theme remains, the ocean offering no answers. Modern marvels and failures of maritime technology. Despite revolutionary advances like satellite tracking and emergency beacons, vanishings persist. Even with today's technology, a sudden squall can knock out electronics or swamp a craft in minutes. Some vanishings show automatic identification system transponders going dark unexpectedly. Experts point to vulnerabilities, power failures, corrosion, or intentional disabling. Others suggest hackers might manipulate signals, obscuring the true fate of a vessel. Sometimes, sailors invest in costlier tech, satellite phones and personal locator beacons, but such units are only as reliable as their maintenance and battery life. Sometimes the sea finds a way through our cleverest defenses. The wild cards, weather, rogue waves, and maritime hazards. No technology can tame the sea's wild heart. The Atlantic's famed unpredictability is a force to reckon with. Sudden storms, rogue waves taller than a city bus, and lightning strikes can all spell disaster for even the most seasoned sailors. Weather satellites spot severe squalls, yet some microbursts form with violent speed, catching solo sailors unprepared. Rogue waves, once dismissed as sailors' tales, are now a documented menace, their height and force capable of destroying a yacht in seconds. Combine these with floating debris and even marine life mishaps, and navigation becomes a high-stakes game every mile. Silent signals, the perils of going it alone. Solo sailing is a test of human endurance, of mind, spirit, and body. Yet, solitude at sea brings unique dangers. A lone voyager has no one to help if illness strikes, or if they're thrown overboard by a wayward boom. Autopilot systems can fail, fatigue can dull a sailor's senses, and simple missteps lead to fatal accidents. Most modern solo sailors use safety harnesses, but the Atlantic's rough moods have overpowered them before. It's a sobering reminder. On the ocean, there's precious little margin for error when you've only yourself to rely upon. The phantom threat, crime and conspiracy theories at sea. Where official explanations falter, speculation surges. Some believe a sinister human hand may be at play, from modern piracy to targeted theft of high-value vessels. Foul play is rare but not unknown. Others see clues lurking in the behaviors recorded by onboard computers. Sudden course changes, inexplicable radio silence, or evidence of tampering. Spirited sailors sometimes spark intrigue themselves, with cryptic last messages or unusual log entries. Only adding to the unease, darker corners of the internet spin tales of espionage, smuggling, and everything in between. Out on the open ocean, it can be very hard to tell truth from rumor. The human element, psychology, preparedness, and the allure of risk. Why do sailors brave these perils alone? For some, it's about personal challenge, proving resilience against the Atlantic's legendary fury. Others seek the solace of solitude, a space to think and dream in rhythm with the tides. But the mindset needed to cross an ocean alone is a double-edged sword. Confidence sometimes shades into overconfidence, and even the most carefully laid plans can unravel in the face of exhaustion or self-doubt. Training and preparation are vital, yet no checklist can prepare one for every eventuality. The ocean tests not just vessels, but the very souls who dare to cross her. Learning from loss, innovations and protocols for safer crossings. Despite recent tragedies, the sailing community continues to innovate. New regulations urge tracking redundancy and check-in requirements for solo crossings. International efforts have improved rescue coordination, sharing data to reduce response times. Yacht clubs promote rigorous safety courses and promote buddy boat clustering, where possible during longer passages. Innovators are piloting artificial intelligence-equipped drones for real-time hazard detection and exploring stronger hull materials. The unsolved vanishings leave a mark, but each loss propels new ideas to keep future sailors safer on their journeys. Echoes in the ether, the last transmissions of lost sailors. Now, before we chart our course for the conclusion, let's tune in to the eerie beauty and chilling finality of the last signals ever heard from those who vanished on the Atlantic. For every sailor who vanishes, there are often breadcrumbs left behind. Fragments of radio chatter, emergency beacons briefly triggered, or plaintive messages scrawled in logbooks that never made it ashore. These echoes in the ether form a haunting record of courage, confusion, and sometimes resignation as disaster unfolded beyond help's reach. Consider, for example, that a solo sailor's last distress call can be a lifeline or a riddle, sometimes nothing more than static, sometimes a frantic report of an overturned hull or a looming storm. Automatic identification systems and satellite trackers are steadfast sentinels, but even the most advanced technology is powerless when a vessel slips below the reporting horizon. In some cases, garbled or abrupt transmissions leave rescue teams grasping at straws, not knowing if they're rushing to a malfunction or a mayday. These final signals are not just technical data points. They're testimony to the solitude and vulnerability faced out there, as well as the fierce determination of sailors battling against overwhelming odds. Stories abound of last-minute weather updates, cryptic journal entries or video logs, digital messages in bottles floating across the vastness. Each one offers a fleeting glimpse into what went wrong, and why, despite having the finest gear, some mariners remain forever out of reach. So as we prepare to reflect on the sea's enduring mysteries, let's take a moment to respect these final transmissions. They remind us that though we can track, monitor, and prepare, there will always be voices that echo unanswered across the waves, drawing us back to the Atlantic's timeless call. Ghost ships and silent drifters, when yachts return without their captains. Before we drop anchor on this odyssey, let's chart a course through one of the most haunting riddles in maritime lore, the phenomenon of ghost ships and solitary vessels found adrift. These are not mere legends whispered over mugs of coffee in distant ports. In recent years, the numbers have quietly ticked upward. Yachts, their sails whipped by the Atlantic breeze, sometimes turn up eerily intact, yet their captains and crew are nowhere to be found. Picture a sloop gliding through the mist, navigation lights still blinking, or a weather-beaten catamaran bobbing, unmanned, hundreds of miles from land. Investigators step aboard expecting chaos, but they often find half-finished log entries, hot coffee mugs glued to tables by salt spray, or even life jackets left untouched. Each vessel is a floating time capsule, preserving clues and spawning more questions than answers. Were these disappearances sudden squalls, a medical emergency at the wrong moment, or something more elusive, something that slips past not only radar but human understanding? And while modern tracking systems have revolutionized search efforts, they are powerless against the silent, unpredictable nature of the open sea. Locating a missing sailor is one thing, but unraveling why boats keep wandering home alone is a challenge fit for only the most seasoned sleuths, and a testament to the ocean's uncanny ability to keep her secrets. As we ready ourselves for the final stretch, it's these empty, drifting vessels that remind us. For every question answered out here, the horizon brings forth new ones, endless as the tide. Conclusion: the sea's enduring mysteries and why we keep sailing. In the end, the Atlantic remains a keeper of secrets, sometimes gentle, sometimes merciless. Her beauty draws adventurers from every shore, even as she reminds us of our vulnerabilities. The recent surge in solo sailor disappearances is a sobering riddle, one we may never fully solve. But out here beneath the endless sky, most are not deterred. They're galvanized to invent, prepare, and learn. As long as there are wind, waves, and explorers with courage to spare, the Atlantic will always beckon. The adventure, for better or worse, carries on, steady as she goes,